So you want me to... They sent me a text yesterday, but I can go on anything, whatever. But we have not... So far I understand we don't have much time because we have to get into action thereafter, which is understandable. So I have to be as concise as I can be. So, shall I go on that? Because the issue was quite simple. First of all, it was a segment of Bhakti Vikas Maharaj comments on indirect preaching. This is an old subject matter. It exists since the time Prabhupada was here. How can we present Krishna consciousness in the most palatable way? Well, I could start right away. We cannot. No. For some people it remains to be unpalatable one way or another, because it's entirely opposite to their material concepts and material value system. Entirely. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, what is day for a devotee, it's night for the kami. And what is night for the kami, that's a day for the devotee. So where is the connection? So it's either day or night. Yes, but first of all, I don't like to comment directly on what Bhakti Vikas Maharaj said. I think he should do that. Okay? Who is me to comment on this? But I know him long enough that he is very strict on principle, but actually very tolerant on application of the principle. I can illustrate that with many, many stories. So this is Srila Prabhupada's policy. Prabhupada was very uncompromising in his presentation, but in full awareness of the ability of the audience to follow. So I would rather replace the term of indirect preaching with the word sensitive preaching. This is, so far I can say, more applicable. Yeah? Indirect means it's a subversion. It's, like you drive on a road and then they take you indirect, driving around something. That was not Prabhupada's policy. He was always coming straight to the point, but in a sensitive way. So this is stated in the Shastra that the truth should be possibly presented in a sensitive way, palatable. That word palatable is used. How to do that? Every Sankirtan devotee who goes out and distributes books knows how to do that. Otherwise, you are just touching, the first thing you touch on a conditioned soul is the false ego. That's the reason we are here in the material world, the impotency. No, I will not surrender to God. So we want to avoid that. Most people are not demons. They are not professional atheists. No. Most people belong to the confused class of men who copy simply the pattern of the demons. But they are not demons. So they are confused. And there is a way how to get around it. Not always. But Srila Prabhupada gave the first basic ingredient how to do this. Purity. Purity means what? Purity of purpose. My dear sir, I came here to present in front of you the truth. Most people don't like truth. Why? Because it brings responsibility. If I know it, then probably I should do it, isn't it? They know that. So they don't like that. We know that. So how do we go around that? Prabhupada gives the perfect formula. My dear sir, you are so knowledgeable, you are so intelligent, you are so powerful, you are so influential. Could you please, for 1 second, put these wonderful attributes of you aside and accept the mercy of Lord Chaitanya? This, in essence, sensitive preaching. It's powered by humility. And humility also means, as is wonderfully stated in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, a real yogi, he sees the pleasures and the pains of others in relationship to his own pleasures and pains. After all, we got the same material body. You know, it's not like you become a devotee, you don't have to go to the toilet. You don't have to sleep, and you will not die. That's not true. We are sharing the same misery like them. It's just we have another understanding of that. And we don't increase the misery by our false hope that this body is really going to be the ultimate supply of sense gratification. We know that it doesn't work. But they are convinced it works. Now how do we get to them to convince them that it doesn't work? This can be done only, the first best way to approach is by one's own example, positive example. He stands a monk, let's say. He doesn't have anything. Obviously he is not enthusiastic by increased sense gratification, and he is completely happy. And here stands the one who works the whole day for happiness, and he is obviously very miserable. The problem is, Prabhupada said, they don't even understand they are miserable. They don't even understand the pain. Prabhupada gives the example of a camel who is chewing on thorny twigs, cutting up his tongue in pieces, actually eating his own blood, and he's saying, this is very nice, this is very tasty. The twigs are very tasty. That's called stupidity, you know. But this is not the way to preach. First you attack the stupidity. I'm really speaking from realization because we were all like that in the beginning. Powered by fanatism. Fanatism is based on fear. Fear that they may have something more to say, we have no answer to that. Or fear that I will not be recognized as I like myself to be seen. This all creates fear. So devotee should be free of fear. He should simply present. You know, as Prabhupada said, ladies and gentlemen, I am not criticizing, I am analyzing. It's a beautiful thing when you think about this. So we don't go out there and say, what is this? Well, then you are finished. In terms of false ego, they are much more powerful as we ever could be. They will come out down on you, they will sweep the floor with you. No, it is stated in the scriptures. We take shelter of the scriptures. And I tell you, our scriptures are very heavy. They are heavy enough. We don't have to be more heavy as our own scriptures. And Srila Prabhupada never compromised the statement of the scriptures. So he was analyzing on the basis of the scriptures. Like a doctor who comes and goes, okay, according to these symptoms and these, qualities of yours, you are sick like that. But he is not going, you sick idiot, how could you get infected like this, huh? You will die. Well, then the patient will flip out. Either most of the people become angry, they go, what kind of doctor is this? He makes me even more sick, just by hearing what he is saying. Or they just cry, they just get depressed. So what is the result of this? So sensitive, not indirect, sensitive. And you dose it. And in full view, introspective view of one's own conditioning. Yeah? When you do it, that's purity. When you do it in a simple and pure way, you give people very little chance to get upset. Compassionate way. It's like children. You don't go to the child if you have a children, you get a practical experience. You don't get to a child and go, "You're stupid!" The child will cry. Just see, I did these mistakes. When my daughter was small, because I was attached and I was afraid something will happen to her. I was going, "Stop it!" And she started to cry. Well, that was not what I wanted. I wanted just to protect her from the danger. But because I did it full blast, she just was an angry father, that's all. And that was the result. So this is in essence how we preach. They are like crazy children. So you just go, "One goodie?" Yes. And our medicine is very heavy, very heavy. Our books are very heavy. Even devotees don't understand. Sorry, they don't understand. We are reading every evening to our children Krishna book. And today Krishna is killing him and killing her. Krishna is killing everybody. What a good night literature, They say, "Oh God," once I got upset. This is exactly what you should actually not do. But the man was so obstinate and he was so arrogant. I got really upset on the street. "I'm Christian!" In Germany we had always one thing. "I'm Christian, I will call police." That's the German Christianity, in essence. So we told him, "Is Jesus Christ a police chief or what?" Because it was always connected. Like Jesus Christ is sitting in a police station or what? "I'm Christian, I will call police." That was like this. It was extreme. And then I had people coming, "Our God is love." And one guy, he got me so upset, I told him, "Well, our God kills everybody. That's it." He was shocked. Couldn't even say anything. Not needed to do, really. I was just really upset in that moment. Because people can make you upset. When you understand the extent of the obstinacy, how they are stubborn, "I will not join, I will not serve God." This is the mentality underneath. But, as I mentioned before, they are like obstinate children. So we have to be very sensitive, not indirect. You can present very directly something, but in a way that people understand you are just quoting here, this is in a book. It's stated here, you see, that actually you are an idiot. But we don't tell them that. We say, or you use the Narada Muni approach. Narada Muni preaching to a king. Dangerous. It's dangerous to preach to a king. King is very powerful. He can kill you anytime. Anyway, to preach to a Kshatriya, not easy. Because he is, he can come out really fast. So Narada Muni goes, "Once upon a time, there was a king. Not you. Some king." And he's, explaining like analogy. And the king is very intelligent. Actually, he's a devotee. So he understands very soon, oh, he's talking about me, isn't it? There was one Puranjana, and there's a whole story to it, which shows the futility of sense gratification. And in this way you can also say, using analogies, just sharing the knowledge we got. And then unattached. You deliver, you give, and you leave it at that. We cannot force people to join. People come voluntarily, and they leave sometimes voluntarily too. Prabhupada was desperate about that. He took it as a personal responsibility, and when his disciples were leaving, he was crying sometimes. But he was going, if Krishna doesn't stop you, what can I do? Krishna gave the freedom to everybody to come and go. That, in full awareness of that, we can say very heavy things and straight. Srila Prabhupada was not in favor to color our preaching to such a degree it has nothing to do actually with Krishna consciousness anymore. So, and of course people like that. They go, oh yeah. I remember I met once a Czech baseball team long time ago during the communistic days in Germany. They were on some tournée, playing baseball or whatever, or basketball actually. And they were going, "Oh, books, India." And because I speak the language, they were like, "Oh, you speak our language, interesting." And the only thing they were going, "Yeah, I know India. I know Indian scripture. I know Kama Sutra." It was the only Vedic scripture they understood. No, they didn't. Kama Sutra is from the demigod regions, not some conditioned rascal, lusty rascal having sex life. I don't want to go into it. I never studied the Kama Sutra, so I don't know, but it's certainly not the essence of our book distribution, But they would like it. They would like it. And they would immediately go, "Oh, sex. Oh, very good, very good. Cookbook, very good. Eating, very good, very good." In some countries, like in Czech Republic, we are known as the restaurant movement. Hare Krishna, "Oh, Govindas, I know, good eating, good eating." That's all. No, we don't mind. We don't mind. They are positive. This is also preaching. So, and quite direct preaching, prasadam. Prabhupada did that. Sometimes people came to have a heated discussion and Prabhupada just gave them prasadam. That's it. He knew, no use. That stupid fool, it's no use to have an argument. He will just commit offenses. That's what we should avoid. That they come out with an offensive attitude. This is not very good. So, this is all connected to sensitive preaching. But direct. Why shall I color? This was already attempted in Prabhupada's presence. There was one devotee who wanted to start some yoga village. Some community where you practice all kinds of yoga and this. And I can show you a letter, actually, I forgot to bring it. Prabhupada completely defeats the whole idea. He goes, "We don't need anything of this. We need Harinam, book distribution, prasadam distribution. If it's done purely, then we have a chance." Because when you look at Prabhupada's preaching, he never changed anything. He never was like, There's another danger to this, to go along with the public's taste. Prabhupada writes in a letter, we are not supposed to accommodate public. Public is supposed to accommodate us. That's pretty heavy. But this was an internal instruction to devotees. Again, Prabhupada was very sensitive. When you walk with Prabhupada on a morning walk, and there was 5 sannyasis walking, "Oh, Prabhupada," you listen to recordings, morning walks of Prabhupada, oh, he's saying quite a heavy things. Quite a heavy. But that was with, he wanted to inspire the preacher, like this, preach directly, especially sannyas. Sannyas should not compromise. Sannyas is not for, how do you feel today? Do you feel good? This is, you say, "Okay, Maharaj, I don't feel very good." Why? What can we make to make you feel good? Well, sorry, such a man, I don't think he should have a danda. He can have a box with candies, Yeah? Or maybe danda like a candy, You want to lick on it? I don't want to go too graphical. It's not needed. Some people get maybe offended, but this is ridiculous. It's not Prabhupada. So, again, Prabhupada was sensitive. And he said, it's the purity of it, the whole thing. And purity means also, don't be attached. Be present in full dependence on Krishna. Prabhupada said, first, we want to please Krishna. Then the public. If Krishna is pleased, the public may be automatically pleased. Even they don't know it. It's like a doctor distributing medicine. The patient doesn't know anything about what kind of medicine he's taking. And if he sees, like children, they are afraid of doctor, the doctor is coming. I remember I went once to a Czech dentist in Sweden. Czech dentist in Sweden. He was an immigrant. with my small daughter, just for checkup. She was in a period where the teeth are falling out and there's a new teeth growing, and. And he had an office with his wife. This is called sensitive, okay? Just example, what you can do wrong. So I came with my daughter in his, first of all, a man with white coat, and she was so, ah. And you look at her, and with the typical Czech humor, this is a typical Czech joke, he said, "So how many teeth you will pluck out today?" She was, immediately cried. His wife, she was, actually working next room. She came out running and she shouted at him, "Stop this, you idiot!" In front of everybody. It was just a joke. But the Torah was finished. And then the wife came and said, come. And because it was a lady, like motherly, so my daughter cooled down. And she took her to her room. And she made a perfect examination. My daughter liked it so much she wanted to go back. She said, "This is nice, lady. Yeah, this is very nice." She did. So this is just to show you what can go wrong. So you don't go out there, we will pluck out you Maya, you rascal. This is the worst thing you can do, because they freak out. They either cry or they will attack you. Or they just go away. Prabhupada said, "What's the use?" He gave a very vivid example. He said, "You have to catch the fish without getting wet." How do you do that? A good fisherman, he knows. He knows how to pull the fish out, and he's not getting wet even. A stupid fisherman, he will jump in a river and try to catch the fish, and like this. So jumping in a river, that's an example which is also dangerous. So this indirect preaching is dangerous. You know why? Because you get contaminated. Because you more and more adjust yourself to the likings of the people, you get used to it. And people like it. You can collect, by the way, quite few followers. Yes, they will give you money even. They will pay you, so you just shut up and please their senses. In the name of spiritual life, why not? There are such a people. There are rich people who are interested in spiritual life. For them it's like a delicatessen, It's like, also very good, very good. Meditation, very good, very good. They organize big meetings under a horrifying name. It's called retreat. That word retreat comes from that direction. Rich Buddhists coming together. I saw them in action. They park the BMW, get out, and they meditate. Fancy hotel in some fancy location in Switzerland in the mountains, then have a retreat. I am nothing, you are also nothing. It's very good. It's very good for business to relax. You forget your business and you meditate about nothing. And then they spend lots of money meditating about nothing. That's something, I tell you. That's really something, how much money they spend. And then they go. I knew preachers who got in touch with such a people. They said, "This is very nice. We will engage them and purify them in Krishna consciousness." You know what happened? They became Buddhist. It's very contaminating. They buy you. So preachers are always exposed to this kind of dangers. They are even popular. People come and they try to adjust them to their own needs. And this is how you can completely lose your spiritual identity. You just become a piece of cloth. They wash the floor with you. An expensive piece of cloth. They will give you lots of money for that. Just so you shut up. Don't come with some heavy points here. So this is not Prabhupada's line. Prabhupada was bold. He was straightforward, and he was in full faith of Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. He was presenting the truth. And take it or leave it, but in a nice way. And some people, he was just nice. Like the wife of of the man who invited him to America, Miss Agarwal, I think, or whatever was her name. You can see it on an interview. They ask her, so how was it when Prabhupada arrived here and he lived with you? And she completely melts away. She goes, he was oceanic. Did Prabhupada preach to her? Nah. Prabhupada said the first year I was just walking around checking where am I. I couldn't understand anything. Prabhupada never saw a refrigerator. Prabhupada never saw a vacuum cleaner. He was going, what is this? There's a picture of Prabhupada sitting on a sofa and they had a small boy, and Prabhupada goes, nye, 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 nye. You go, what kind of preaching is this? But he left these people so positive. So they actually were always glorifying him even later on. He was just a big, guru, a big acharya. And they still was going, oh, he's oceanic. Devotees met later in a bookshop in New York, where Prabhupada alone distributed his first copies of Bhagavatam, going on Sankirtan, going from bookshop to bookshop and offering his Bhagavatams he brought from India. As our BBT manager, he said, very daring publications. For Western standard, I had actually 3 volumes of this, once upon a time. Well, they look like made by a shoemaker, Really sewn together books, and the editing is hilarious, The line goes like this, and then it goes like that, because it's printed in India, No computer, nothing of this. I don't want to go now into it, how they printed books those days in India, but it's very manual, it's very physical. So Prabhupada distributed this book in America. And the devotees later on went already with the printed Bhagavatam, first, second, and third volume, and they were going around offering books also in a bookshop. And they came to a bookshop, and this lady was going, this book, I know this book. There was an old man here 1-2 years ago. He was selling books like this too. And devotees were like, and then the lady was going, and immediately she started to melt. She was saying, he was so nice. It was such a gentleman. And then, and she said, and then I bought these books with little hope to sell them actually again. And then at the end, he brought a metal box, and he opened the metal box, and there was that kind of white sweet balls inside. Sweet balls. And they tasted so good. And she was completely melted just by remembering Prabhupada. And the devotees were like, you still have the books? And she said, yeah, of course, can we have them? And they immediately bought from here these first 3 volumes of Prabhupada, distributed himself. This is just an example of sensitive preaching. And when you open our Bhagavatam, it's heavy, it's heavy. Right away in the beginning, purports, heavy. Chaitanya Charitamrita, so heavy, that even the godbrothers of Prabhupada asked him to rewrite the purports. So heavy. Smashing sahajayas, smashing bogus gurus, smashing. But in form of a book. You can read it, take it, or leave it. That's it. It's information. We are disseminating information. Again, we are not actually criticizing, we are analyzing. When you keep it on that level, you give people maximum chance to get affiliated. And then some people will say, no, just by seeing you, I have enough. I cannot even smell you. That's a real demon. He cannot even smell a devotee. Then what can you do with that? Oh boy, in Germany, oh my God, what we went through, you have no idea. Yesterday I was distributing in Zagreb, I felt like walking in paradise. In Germany we got it constantly. I call police, running around, being chased like rabbits. When you went out with Dode on the street, you would do this in Germany in 1972, people will call police immediately. There's a madman in a bedsheet on the street, and he has no hair. Yeah. Polizei! Simple household ladies. I had simple household ladies beating me with an umbrella on the head. Madman here! How many times on the street I had to hear, I would like to put you in a gas chamber. That was still people who remembered gas chambers very well. 1972, people still used to cry on Hitler's birthday in Germany. Fortunately, it is all gone, they're all dead. Now Germany has completely different problems, and we look like angels to the police. They go, oh, Hare Krishna, yeah, that's dancing and good food, And that's also not exactly our picture. Prabhupada said, if the leaders of the society would understand what I'm really writing here, they will kill me immediately. He said that. It's so heavy. But that doesn't mean we can copy this. We have to really understand who we are. And people accept introspective approach. They appreciate that. One man challenged me on the street. You think you know everything? You want to teach me something? You think you know everything? I said, no. Immediately. And he was like, okay. I said, but I know somebody who knows everything. It's in a book, it's my teacher. I don't know anything, but my teacher knows. Do you have a teacher? He was going, I don't need any teacher. I know everything. I said, well, then you're an idiot. Sorry. I couldn't take it anymore. I was just cutting him off. But when you say, no, it's just like Lord Chaitanya shows sensitive preaching. He goes to Mayavadi, to sannyasis. That's a heavy saying, But Brahmavadis, real guys who austere, not some some cheaters, austere, and living really. And what did Lord Chaitanya did? He sat there in the door. But he was Lord Chaitanya is God, so when God comes and sits on the door, everybody pays attention, So they were all like, oh, come on, you are also sannyasi, come sit with us. And we heard that you are not studying Vedanta. We heard that, you are not living like us. You are not men of knowledge. You have knowledge. No ecstasy, no dancing, just knowledge. Lord Chaitanya said, no, sorry, I have no knowledge. My Guru told me just to chant Hare Krishna and dance. And they were like, how is that possible? He immediately quoted authority. That's a sensitive preaching. That much we should do, but not adjust things. 3.5 principles. 3 principles, please. Okay, 2 principles, please. At the end you end up with vegetarianism, that's okay. That's good, it's good. Actually, Prabhupada said first we should induce them to chant Hare Krishna. And then we talk about principles. That we power all the way, just no, forbidden, no. That's not very attractive. And they cannot do that. They are too addicted. But they know it's not good. Come on, it's written on the package of the cigarettes. You smoke and you will die. Everybody knows alcohol, it's killing you. No drugs. They know it's very dangerous. There are programs how to save people from drugs. Really? They don't save one damn thing. We do that. Prabhupada was very proud of it. He said, all my disciples were drug addicted. And they were meat eaters too. Addicted to all these. And look at them now. That's preaching. And how did Prabhupada do that? By positive taste. Positive taste. So this is in general what can be said about this. But Prabhupada didn't compromise. No, it's okay, it's all right, you can also do that. Then you are finished, they are finished. I'm not very much fond of this word, even bridge preaching, because I think, okay, you build a bridge to them. That's preaching, yes. You connect to them. Now the question is, which direction who will walk? There's a bridge. Will they walk to me or I will walk to them? Well, in my life, I learned from Prabhupada, no. We made a bridge for them so they can walk to us. I will not walk over there. And they will like it. Come on. Beer, it's okay. I was lucky as a kami because I never came to these things. I come from a family with not smoking. Yeah, there was meat eating. But otherwise, there was no smoking, no drugs, and no alcohol, nothing of this. So for me, these things were like, until today, for me, beer is like rotten water. When I read in Bhagavatam that rotten water is poisonous and has a foam on it, I was going, hey, that's beer. You just ferment and rot water, that's it. There's a foam on it. From Vedic point of view, untouchable. So things like that. But again, I will not go to a guy with a beer can in a hand on the street and going, throw it away, you sinner. No. And I met people who go, oh, you are very nice. You want us a beer? I could tell you stories, you will have a good laugh, My neighbor, I used to live once upon a time as a grihastha in a little Czech village, very small village. And my neighbor was a car mechanician. And he was one of these car mechanicians of the old school. He lived in a garage. I think this man he was soaked in oil all the time. I was going, how does this man go to sleep, He's soaked in oil. He must have a gummy bed or whatever, he's oily all the time. And smoking like anything, And then, anyway, it was a funny character. He was directly my neighbor. So, so first time I came to bring my car to him, what did he do? Immediately pulled the alcohol out. Because they have a cupboard, where the people bring always bottle as a part of the payment for the repair. It's an old tradition, in these communistic countries. You always bring the alcohol to the man and some chocolate or some flour to the women, generally. So, he had a whole cupboard of this far out stuff. So he immediately, new neighbor, very good. I told him, well, I didn't tell him, I'm Hare Krishna. No. I told him, I would like to drink with you, but I have a bad stomach. My doctor said no more alcohol, finished. And he said, oh, what an unlucky man, So he was drinking his thing and I was just sitting there. But he didn't let it go. Because he thought this was a temporary thing. Next time I came, again he pulled the bottle. And I was going, oh, what can I tell him now? I said, but the doctor forbade me this. And he said, these doctors are nonsense, ignore them, come on, have a drink. So, but he already knew I'm Hare Krishna. But he didn't know about the principles much, he didn't care. I said something stupid actually. I told him, we accept alcohol only in a form of homeopathic medicine, on a little spoon, like, Next time I came to his garage, he had a spoon. I was going, oh no, how do I avoid this? But it was just a few drops. I was going, okay. And he was very happy. Oh, now we had a drink. But it backfired on me immediately. Because the next day, devotees came from the Czech farm, which is very close by, to repair some car. And he pulled the bottle on them. And they were, of course, no alcohol, you sinner. We are Hare Krishna. And he said, my neighbor is Hare Krishna. He drinks with me all the time. So they came to me and they were going, are you really drinking with that guy? I was going, no! Then I went to him and I said, you betrayed me. We had a quite personal, actually, relationship. You betrayed me. No more spoons. Nothing of this. You know that? And he was laughing. He was going, okay, then I will drink alone. Okay. he learned to like me, actually. Can you imagine what that man did? He was famous in the whole area because he was a whole life sitting in that garage. And all his communistic friends. He was actually a communist, but the old-fashioned one, idealistic communist. Americans, they are only good in a black bag where you put the dead bodies. Because they are sticking their nose everywhere. And I agreed, yes. They stick nose everywhere, they end up in a black bag, yeah. That's all. And he liked that. We had these political discussions, He was... Anyway, I don't want to quote him more, but... so he told, the neighbors came, he said, my God, you have Hare Krishna as a neighbor now. And he said, these people, they believe you are born many times. That much he knew. To get a neighbor like this, you have to be born 2,000 times. He said that. And 10, 12 kilometers was the bigger town. I had to go to the office regarding doing things in the office, my house. And they asked me, they saw the address. They went, oh, you are the neighbor of Mr. Remek, was his name. You are the neighbor of Mr. Remek. Oh, that's very nice. And they were very nice all to me because he was only speaking nicely about me. I would call, this is called bridge preaching, okay? He never started chant Hare Krishna, nothing. But he had even distinction between the farm Hare Krishna. He said, actually he admired, they are hard-working people, yeah, this is good. That much he understood. But they are a little bit fanatical, isn't it? And then we have our domestic Hare Krishna, that's my neighbor. And actually I created a little community with 2 other devotee families. We got children, and all this. And this is actually our Hare Krishna, the village Hare Krishna. They are very nice. He was always defending us. And all these communistic guys, they were going, okay, and he says like this, okay. This is just an example. You don't go further with a man like this. I never preached to him actually anything, But he was quite a down-to-floor, common-sense man. There were points I could clearly agree with him, So why not? Sure. I don't expect more of him. And then we start to feed him prasadam and this, and he said, this was good, yeah. And then what happened? Oh, he drank so much alcohol he had to stop because he couldn't repair any car anymore, Smoking, also very difficult. Doctors told him, when you smoke like this, you are dead in 1 year. So he also stopped, And then his wife came in. She was a heavy lady, she was going... she just looked at his table, took the package with the cigarettes away. She said, the doctor said no cigarettes. And he was like, I want my package back. He said, the doctor said, finished. And then she walked out again. So he was regulated in this way. So karmis have their own thing going on. We have nothing to do with this. We have our thing going on. But it doesn't mean that there cannot be a connection in a frame of sensitive preaching. You give Krishna consciousness to the point they can take, and if they don't want to take, detachment. Okay, then what can we do? We have so many ways to transmit Krishna consciousness. So I don't want to get it too long again because I thought I'm timed here. So much for that, bridge preaching or whatever they may call it. That's cheating. Don't present Krishna consciousness like something else, or something else as Krishna consciousness. It's not needed. It's not needed. We have so much nice ways to present. And if they still don't take, what can we do? Yeah. Later on, I directed the heavy preaching to my wife. My God, what she could say. When a woman is speaking, it's again completely different thing. My wife was a pretty ferocious person, I got married to a lion, to a tiger. You ever married to a tiger? Not easy. So, she could really tear people apart. So, anyway, she said to the man on the street, we were together on the street, and she told him, you are so stupid. And the guy was, how can you say that? I know I am not so intelligent. She said, you don't know one thing. You are more stupid as you can imagine. You are the most stupid person on this planet. The man was laughing. If I would say it, he will slap me in the face. So, ladies have this Shakti. They can just smile and tell people such a heavy stuff straight in their face. This is, Prabhupada called them our secret weapons. He knew that potency, yeah. He put them in a preaching field. He knew that. So this is just example. But I cannot copy this. I cannot do that. What to speak of copying blindly Prabhupada? No, I couldn't do that. I have to be aware that this is a conditioned Manidhara, so what can I do? I can just be nice. Hello. I don't want to get too long and too detailed, but those who want to know about this, they should go with Lamanchita on Zagreb on the street. This is what I call sensitive preaching. He has a long-term, he knows I will be tomorrow standing here again. So how many people you want to get upset? They will come tomorrow also again. So if he wouldn't preach sensitively, he would have by now, a huge army of enemies in Zagreb. They will just wait until he comes again. This crazy fanatical monk. No. I was yesterday out with him. He just walks in a park. He's doing even things I couldn't do. People sit there on the grass, sunshine, they enjoy. And then he comes in the middle of the whole thing. Just monk, boom. Just by seeing him, you may think, oh, now the fun is over. Just by his appearance. They know that. It's monk coming. Nobody got upset. They're all, oh, the monk. And he just goes like, hello, just like passing by, And then he goes, oh, so, by the way, there's a little book here. You are sitting on the grass, you have nothing to do. You could read something, isn't it? No. I saw yesterday, there was a boy and girl sitting on the grass. When he left, the boy was reading from the book to the girl. I was going, wow, I didn't saw that one for a long time. She was curious what's in the book, so he was reading out. Sunshine, and the boy is reading Changing Bodies, and yes, reincarnation, yes. I mean, it was romantic yesterday. I was really impressed. I was going, wow. Because this is what you do. There's no compromise. There is no need of, he's not making even some funny moves or something like this. He's not trying to really please their senses. Not really. But simultaneously, just monk walking around. He's like an icon in Zagreb. I saw people coming to him, reporting what happened. They share their lives with him. He's really like a walking church, People go to the church to confess. So they come to him to confess. It's really funny, I mean, I never saw much of this. They confess, yeah, I did it again, what can I do, and he goes like, just get another book, So it sounds simple, but it is actually there's a very deep basis to this. There's a compassion. There's a truly compassion to these people. You try to help in any way you can. People know that, reasonable people, they will feel it, and they will respond also accordingly. I have to finish, isn't it? You have some program here. Okay? You don't have much time. I can go for hours on this because it's actually a big issue. What can we do to preach sensitively? Not what can we do to change something. Why should we change something? Prabhupada didn't change one damn thing. Prabhupada said, this is the key to my success. I didn't change anything. This is the key to my success, because I didn't change anything. But he presented it in such a way when Mr. Allen Ginsberg said that Swamiji is a little bit too conservative. Prabhupada got upset. He said, how can that fool say that? I already adjusted whatever I could. And Prabhupada did very revolutionary adjustments. He put ladies on the altar. You don't see it in a Vedic culture. He put ladies in preaching field. Forget it. You don't see it much in Vedic culture. He sized down the number of rounds from 64 to 16. So we can actually chant 16 rounds. You know, Prabhupada did such a merciful arrangements for us. Special arrangement for the Western people that they can pick it up. And they asked devotees, are there more rules? Are you going to come up with some more rules? Prabhupada said, if I would tell you all the rules, you will all leave immediately, and I will be again a lonely Indian man walking around here. So Prabhupada said, I'm not going to adjust more. This is it. And actually, in the process of his preaching, when you follow the line, 1977, the last year he was here, he started to tighten up the screws more. More. Because there was also more advanced devotees who could actually accept that. In the beginning, the early devotees, they remember Prabhupada like this, and I have to say quite publicly, sometimes they misunderstand that what Prabhupada was permitting in the beginning is forever. Not really. Prabhupada knew he was testing how much they can take. So he was very cool, he was he seemed very liberal. And when he saw, they are serious, then he tightened up the standards more. That's what he did, very sensitively. And still some people flipped out and left. Shyamasundara was a carpenter, so he was the first one who carved Lord Jagannath deities. Prabhupada loved that. He said, no, we will have our own Jagannath deities carved, very nice. He left, we have our own painters, now we have our own carpenters. And when he came to his carpenter studio, Lord Jagannath had a pack of cigarettes lying on her head. Because Shyamasundara was just, and he was, What did Prabhupada do? He wasn't going, the deity is desecrated, throw it away. No. Prabhupada said, could you reduce the cigarettes at least to 3 a day? Not all the time. 3 a day. And then Shyamasundara soon realized, there's no use to smoke at all. With 3 cigarettes a day, just forget it. And he forgot the whole thing. Because he felt so obliged to Prabhupada and he felt so captured by Prabhupada. I could tell you stories endlessly how Prabhupada is saving us all. One of my godsisters, I'm not going to mention name, she just spoke to me. I don't know, it was the first time I met her. A very famous name, very famous godsister. And we were in Ireland, kind of quiet atmosphere, Irish, in a Krishna island. It's a very quiet place. And suddenly she just started to talk to me. I think she was kind of happy. She meets a god brother, so why not? And she said, I came to a period of my life, despite being so closely affiliated with Prabhupada in the beginning, I want to leave Krishna consciousness. Maya came at my door. I don't want to go in detail when it happens, but it happens in a particular time of your life. It happens to men too, by the way. So Maya said, come on. Now since 30 years, 40 years, they're chanting Hare Krishna here. Are you happy? Are you ecstatic? Not so much, isn't it? Now you are becoming an older woman. Come on. don't you remember you had some fun before you joined this movement, isn't it? You were beautiful and you went to disco and, and the men were appreciating. Yes. It's never too late, You could try again. Maya preaching. And she looked in a mirror, and she was going, well, not so bad. I could paint it over, and fix it a little bit up. And have some fun tonight. She said, I really start to think like this. She was very honest. I really felt obliged to hear that kind of honesty, And she said, I was actually just about to do it and walk out of the door. When I turned around, Prabhupada was standing in the door, and he said, go back. Anytime I got this idea, Prabhupada was there, go back. He said, I couldn't bloop. I couldn't go away. Until I realized, this stupid thing I'm thinking here, so I just gave up the whole thing. Now I'm an old woman, I'm happy. So, this is what happens when you have really mercy. But this is already more intimate. Okay, I'm too long and I'm too late. Thank you very much for listening. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.